Hi, I'm Bill the Geek, broadcasting not live from Chapala, Mexico. I'm Bill Dallas Lewis, better known as Bill the Geek. On our channel, we do Mexico travel. We go into Mexico restaurants, we go to Mexico pueblos, Mexico big cities, and we show you the highlights of Mexico. And we're just starting. We've got a lot of more videos to come. We do healthcare videos, immigration videos, so click the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. We go live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. That's Chicago time, Houston time. Live, be there. And click the subscribe button so you get a notification for every Saturday at 10 a.m. live. We answer all of your questions. This video is about healthcare for Americans in Mexico. This video is about medical care for Americans in Mexico. This video is about private insurance and healthcare in Mexico. This video is about healthcare issues for Americans in Mexico. And this video is about a living will in Mexico. Howdy folks, this is kind of a serious video. I've been in Mexico for 16 years and I'm healthy. I'm very healthy. I exercise, I get around, my body feels great. I don't have any problems. But two things happened since I've been here to make me take steps to help me with my health should things go wrong. It must have been about 8 years ago, a friend of mine, he was a young guy, looked like Tarzan. And this was in Puerto Vallarta. He had all the women in the world. He was a wild and crazy man. And I'm not going to say his name, but he was wild and crazy. He was about 23, 25 years old. He had everything going for him, except he didn't have any money, okay? So he got wild one night, and I don't know how it happened, but he jumped out of a second-story building, landed into the street, broke both of his legs. He had no health insurance, no money. So the ambulance took him to a public hospital because he couldn't get into a private hospital. We'll talk about that later. But when you go to a public hospital, it's not like going to the hospital in the United States. They have certain rules, and because he didn't have any money to get his legs fixed, they put him in a cot and put him in a hallway until somebody could come up with enough money to pay for him. And he was in the hospital like that for like 2 months before people could collect money to get him fixed up well enough to get him back to the United States. That prompted me to get health insurance. So I've had health insurance now for about 7, 8 years. I've never had to use it, but if I get sick, I go into the best hospitals in Mexico, private hospitals. That's where you want to go. But something happened last month that made me take another step to help me take care of myself. This is going to be a 2-part video. In part 1, we're going to walk you through all of the legal stuff I want to walk you through. In part 2, we're going to talk about health law, doctors, hospitals, and the Red Cross specifically. So you want to hit the subscribe button so you surely check out part 2 of this short healthcare series. So where I'm going to now is what me and Teresa, my wife, are working towards. And what it is, it's creating a living will, or working out medical directives, they call it. Okay, so what prompted this? Well, about a month ago, a friend of ours, she had a friend, and her friend's family called her. She lives in Ajijic. Her friend lives in Ajijic. So her friend's family called my friend and said, hey, have you seen so-and-so? We haven't seen her. She won't answer her phone. So my friend went over to her house, knocked on the door. Nobody answered the phone. So she called the police. The police let her in, they go in, and the lady, this friend of hers, is incapacitated. She's out cold, and it looks like she's been out cold for about 2 days. So what do? They took her to a local private hospital, and they called the family in the United States. Okay, we found her, we have her in the hospital. But what happens when you get to the private hospital, they can take care of you. They can take care of you partially, but you have to make some commitment to pay the money before they can take step 2. They can help stop the problem that you came into the hospital with, but most likely you'll need continued care, and that's where the money comes in. So the friend that found the friend calls the family in the United States, and they say, okay, well, they want some money. Do you have some money? And the family had to think about it, and they decided, well, no, we don't want to pay. Dude, that was it. So they transferred the woman who's unconscious in a coma to a public hospital in Guadalajara. She was there for 2 days in a coma, and then she died. So that's what led me. So I have health insurance. I have really good health insurance. But have you thought about it? What happens if you go into a coma and they find you in your house or your apartment? What happens if you pass out in Walmart? What happens if you pass out in the market? What happens if you get hit by a car and you're alone and nobody's there to tell them what you want to do? That is what this video is all about. So pretty much this video is about how to create a living will or a medical directive in Mexico for Americans. And you may say, well, I already have a living will in the United States, or I already have a will in the United States. That may not be good enough, because by the time the will gets to Mexico and it has to be translated into Spanish and notarized, that might take you a month or 2. By then, bad things may have happened, okay? So a living will or a medical directive is where you have walked through this situation in your mind with some friends and your loved ones, and you know exactly what you want to happen. Should you be unconscious or should you be in a coma? And you've walked through everything. You've talked to your attorney, you've talked to your notary, you've talked to your doctor, you've contacted hospitals, and you've told them what to do should you show up. You've told them what your blood type is. You've talked to 2 friends in Mexico that can sign papers for you. You've talked to 2 people in the United States that know where your money is, and they can sign papers for you, and they can take actions for you. And you've talked with these people about everything that you want done. That's what a medical directive does. That's what a living will does. And now let's walk you through the steps of what you need to do to get this done so you're okay should something happen to you. Now, to get this thing done legally in Mexico, you need a notario publico. That's a public notary. And it's a step up from an attorney, and I don't quite understand it, but that's what you need. And we have the email and name of one of these people in the description below should you want to go through this. It's going to cost you somewhere between 1,500 pesos and 3,000 pesos, depending upon the notary that you get. That's like $75 or $150. Now, before you talk to your public notary, you want to sit down with your loved ones or your closest friends and make some decisions. Decisions like, well, if something happens to me, I don't want to go to that hospital. I want to go to this hospital. And if this happens to me, I want to go to that hospital. And my money is in this bank, and you're allowed to call them up and release funds from the bank and send them to the hospital. And if I'm in a coma for 48 hours, tell them don't treat me anymore, just let me go. Or if I'm dying, don't let them give me any of these drugs, only these drugs. Or if I die, I want to be cremated and not buried, okay? Things like this. Or I don't want my organs to be donated, okay? I want to keep my organs, or I want to give my organs away. All things like this. Or if I get COVID and I go to the hospital, don't let them put tubes in me. Things like this. You want to walk through every scenario and have 2 friends in the United States, 2 friends or family members in Mexico sign off on this. A medical directive for it to be legal in Mexico is going to be in Spanish and English. The Spanish is going to be on the left, the English is going to be on the right, and to make it legal, it has to be signed by 2 witnesses. So you've walked through all these steps with your friends and families. You've had the notary come in and write all of this up, and people have signed off on it. Now, or maybe before then, you would have wanted to have, you wanted to get a doctor, your own private doctor who agrees with the things that you agree with in life. It's like, oh, well, if I'm on tubes, I don't want to live. If I'm in a coma for 3 days, I don't want to live anymore. Do not resuscitate. You want a doctor and a lawyer that agrees with your viewpoints so that when stuff gets nasty, you don't have any arguing going on. Okay, so you have a lawyer that knows that they're on your side. You have a doctor and they're on your side. And you had your notary write up the papers. Your attorney has this paper. Your doctor has this paper. But to really sweeten the pot, you want to visit the doctors at hospitals in your area. And you want to put this living will in the database of the hospital. So if you show up at the hospital, they know exactly who you are, what your blood type is, what conditions you have, and they know that if you're in a coma for 2 days, they just pull all the wires and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and you may want to visit 2 hospitals and check out what equipment this hospital has and what equipment does this hospital have. And your hospital choices go into your medical directive, your living will. It says if an ambulance picks me up, I go to this hospital or this hospital, not that hospital. Now, a disclaimer for me. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a notary, I'm not an attorney. So you want to sit down with a notary, with an attorney, with a doctor, and talk through this entire process so you have all your stones uncovered and you're getting all of your facts totally straight. Don't rely on me. Talk to a notary or talk to an attorney and a doctor. And I want to thank Annette Williams. After this incident happened to her friend, she invited a notary, some people from the hospitals, an insurance salesman to come over to her house, and a banker, and she had these people talk for 2 hours about setting up a living will. And but thank you, Annette. So all the information that I'm giving you guys came from that 2-hour seminar from health professionals in the Lake Chapala area and hospitals in the surrounding area. But when I was walking into this place with like 150 people, there was a lady outside and she was selling these little jars right here. When I first walked in, she says, you wanna buy one of these little cups from the Red Cross? And I'm thinking like, who are you? I don't need little red. I said, how much are they? She said 70 pesos. That's like $3.50. But in the presentation, they started talking about these things. And you can get one of these things from the Red Cross. This is a Red Cross safety kit. And what you do is, inside here, there's a paper, and you put your name, who you want the Red Cross to contact in case of emergency. And you want, on this piece of paper, you want to put your doctor's phone number, your loved one's phone number. You want to put your notary's phone number, your attorney's phone number. You want to put down what hospital you want to be taken to, your blood type, any, whatever. And maybe you want to have a copy of your living will in here too. And in this little kit, there's a magnet. This freaks me out. There's a magnet in the little kit, and you put the magnet on your refrigerator. And the Red Cross is trained so that when they come into your home, the first thing they do is they see if you have a magnet on your refrigerator. If you have the magnet from the Red Cross on your refrigerator, they open the door and they look for this kit. And in here, they know that they have the directions for everything they need to do. The Red Cross in Mexico is funny. I fell down once and I had a big gash up here. And they took me in, they gave me stitches, let me go. I came back, they took the stitches out. It didn't cost anything. I don't know how that works. But the Red Cross in Mexico is very well trained. They're paramedics. They're very professional. In the next video, we talk about what hospitals can do, what the law says that they have to do, where do they have to take you, where do the ambulance have to take you, what is the hospital law, what is doctor law, what is Mexico law. That's coming up in our next video. So please leave a comment. What didn't I say? What should I have said? What videos would you like to see? Leave a comment. We'll get back to you in 24 to 48 hours. If this information is helpful, please click the like button. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video gave you some information. Please take action. Don't be passed out in Walmart and nobody knows who you are. Get the Red Cross medical kit. Get your living will created so people know what to do, what actions to take. Put your Red Cross magnet on your refrigerator. And if you're driving a car, you might want to put the Red Cross magnet kit in your car also. If you have two people that you live with, or just you and somebody else, get one of these little kits for each of you and have 2 magnets on your refrigerator. Thank you very much for watching. We have a lot more videos to come. Hope this was informative, and see us live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.